Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast. This is episode 95, coming to you literally about 15 to 30 minutes after the Mavs convincingly blow out the Timberwolves in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our social media accounts up at the top, and thank you guys for all this, the increased love that we've been receiving. It's been like a week since we actually did an entire episode, so we're going to do like a little mini episode, a little NBA Finals preview fresh off the Western Conference Finals. We may have some more content revolving around the finals coming in the future, especially since Jaden is not on this episode. But we're gonna start with let me get these banners up. A reaction to Game 5, because obviously that's the most pressing news right now. The Wolves just came out. It was competitive for like the first few minutes, but Luka Doncic was going absolutely crazy. Scored 20 points in the first quarter. He cannot be stopped. He looked like a man on a mission in this first quarter. And I believe he is still the NBA league leader in points per game after a loss, I believe. Yo, he still is.
Yeah.
I think he's averaging around 34 coming into this game. He had like 36. So that probably went up considering the sample size. But I kind of want to start with Q. Let's start with Q. He did predict this series to the T. Mavs in 5, and we laughed, and I thought he was trolling when he said this in the preview, but it actually came true. And I think this is probably his fourth straight series getting correct in this playoffs, down to the games as well.
I had Wolves in 7 against Denver. I had OKC in 4. I had Dallas in 6 versus the Clippers. I had Dallas in 6 versus OKC. No, I'm lying. I had Dallas in 5. I mean, Dallas in 5 versus OKC, which almost came true, but that Game 5. And all the East, I went through all. Like I had Indiana beating. I didn't have the games right, but I had Indiana beating the Bucks. Yeah, everything else I pretty much got correct. The reason why I went, like, I started Dallas in 6, but then I changed it to 5 at the end because while we was talking, I'm just sitting, I'm thinking back, like I wasn't really listening to you. I was just thinking back, like, how this is gonna happen. And I'm like, how are they gonna play this? And Dallas ain't changed up what they did at all, so they just got more comfortable doing everything they did. The pick and roll offense that they run, they've literally perfected it. Like they've had like 50 to damn near 100 more lives than anybody else in the playoffs just off the simpleness. And it's not like they'll probably try to collapse on it, but Luka is just that great of a passer that he's waiting to the last moment to fit that ball in there. Kyrie in the pick and roll is a great play also. He made some, like, throughout the series, he made some acrobatic last second ditch throw up lobs that just get converted. Derek Lively ain't missed all series. Gafford played well. Between Kyrie and Luka, they're gonna put up 60 to 70 points. You just need 3 other players to come along and give you 8 to 15 every night. It don't have to be the same guy, but it got to be somebody. The rim protection element, we talked about it enough. That hindered, Ant for a couple of games, till later on, fake stab pattern and whatnot, but it's whatever. The defense, it wasn't overblown. It's just the personnel. It's like it was just a bad personnel matchup in terms of like how they defend and who they would be defending, because they don't have the answer for Luka just based off like pure bodies, like body size and whatnot. Because like we talked about before, Jaden McDaniels too small. Mike Conley can't do it. Ant Edwards can't do it. So as long as he's doing his thing, you're at the mercy of Luka and whatever he wants to do. Kyrie, he had his struggles depending on who it was on defending, but that's just like also due to size. But it's like Jaden McDaniels ain't gonna be on him for a whole long stretch during the game, so it's not like it's gonna bother him that much. He did come out firing. He had started like these games like 1 for 5, 1 for 8, but like as the game goes on, he adjusts, he gets better and whatnot. It's just the nasty element of Dallas. Like they know how to win a nasty close game. Like that if the game is ugly at the end, I fully believe that Dallas is gonna win the game. And that's what they did every single time, except for this time it was a blowout. Even game 4, I still thought, like, down to the 12 seconds left, I still thought Dallas can win the game. I just thought this was like a a battle of like styles. I don't think their defense was going to be good enough to stop Dallas offense, but I did think Dallas defense was good enough to stop Minnesota's weak ass offense. So it's like I just changed that. Then I'm like, nah, it's gonna get ugly, and when it gets ugly, Dallas gonna pull it out, and that was my main like reasoning for picking Dallas in 5.
Max, what was your thoughts on the game 5 and the series overall? And then after you talk, we talk about like the future of Minnesota and what they should be looking forward to in these coming years.
Obviously, Game 5 was not competitive. Luca, the Mavericks, whatever, just kind of popped the top off it. And what was it, the second or late first? What was like when the run started happening? Was it more the second?
It was more the second. It was more the second.
Regardless, they were hitting. I think at halftime I was looking at it and like everybody who shot a three was shooting better than 50% or 50% at least. So everybody was shooting the ball well. Cat was not getting it going in the first half. It was just a slow start for everybody on Minnesota. So this game wasn't entertaining. I still think like I hate the narrative that like sweeps can't be entertaining sometimes. Like I think not every sweep is the same in my opinion. And like through the first 4 games of the series, I guess through the first 3, yeah, if you take out the last game where Minnesota actually won, like the games were all fun down the stretch and in the fourth quarter. Like they were all entertaining games, and like Minnesota had chances to win every game, obviously. Um, with that being said, though, Dallas just had the solutions, had the answers, had the star players play better. In games 1, 2, 3, whatever. Game 4, Cat finally came alive, and I think that's what really propelled him was having 2 stars firing at all times. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it just I'm not gonna say that this Timberwolves run was magical because it wasn't. It wasn't this crazy thing. Like they had a great defense. They played this way all year long. But at some point in time, I do think experience just kind of tops everything else. And Dallas has been here before. Kyrie's been here before. Luka was in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago, and maybe their bench hasn't all been there before. But at the end of the day, Kid was here 2 years ago, whatever, 2 3 years ago, with the Western Conference Finals with Luka, and you had Kyrie who's had this experience. Like they're leading the charge. They know how to win. They know how to get here. So, I think that mixed with Luka and Kyrie just being the better duo, Luka being the best player in the series. It was, yeah. I think it's just like I don't know. I picked them in. No, I picked Minnesota in 6. Obviously that was not true. I thought the defensively, the Twin Towers, of Rudy and Cat would be able to do something. To be honest, I didn't think Cat would just be that much of a non-factor on offense. He was horrible through the first 3 games, and I did not see that coming. I guess Ant was okay through the first 2. Started turning up 3-4. But yeah, I mean, just the Timberwolves looked like they ran out of gas. So, um, I more power to Dallas. Dallas looked like the much better team the entire series. Um, yeah, I think, but like as whatever, as a Thunder fan, like I feel better about how the series went with us. I think that we were able to handle Dallas better than Minnesota looked like they did. But going forward, like if I'm Minnesota, like I'm disappointed, but this is in no way like a bad season. You can definitely run it back next year, make a couple changes here and there, let Ant get a year older. Cat's the big question mark. Cat is the big question mark as far as what you want to do with him. Um, Mike Conley's only getting older. Rudy Gobert is only getting older, but you still have another year at least of the same core being together. So, um, yeah, more power to Dallas for winning. Good effort by Minnesota, but game 5 they just gave up. That was not a great effort or great showing in an elimination game at home.
I heard someone on a broadcast say they were competent or they were okay with just getting one
Chuck,
game, just not getting
Chuck,
swept. I think it was Chuck.
it was
Yeah,
Chuck.
it seemed like they just came out and just they were okay with just getting one game, not getting swept. Like once they didn't get swept, it was like the job is done, and that's how they
Fine.
kind of play like tonight in the second quarter and beyond. It's their defensive coverages were just sloppy. They were allowing a lot of this stuff they weren't allowing in the first in game 4. Not a lot of defensive pressure, allowing Luka to go 1-on-1, allowing they were playing that drop coverage again, and they were blitzing the screens, but they were making the pass to the middle of the court way too easy for Luka. But my overall theme is despite his play in the first 2 rounds of this playoffs, Luka is making his case for the best player in the world right now. He just averaged 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists on 63% true shooting against the best defense in the NBA. And the defense we consider to be one of the best we've seen in the last decade. Like, it was supposed to be a historic defense, and he made it look terrible. He made it look minuscule. They had no answer for him at all. Whatever court coverage they threw at him, drop coverage, blitzing, icing, hedging, whatever they wanted to do, Luka had an answer for it. And he feels right now, he feels inevitable. He feels like he's gonna be able to score. He's gonna be able to play make no matter what defense is against him. I don't think there's any level of defense that can bother Luka right now. And I think there's only 2 players in the NBA right now that I feel like that about, and that's Luka and Jokic. The Thunder obviously did a great job with him. I think Lou Dort, probably one of his best defenders throughout the entire playoffs. Cal Anderson did a great job with him. Terrence Mann did a great job with him, but especially in those first 2 playoff rounds, he was clearly injured. I think Luka was definitely more healthy in this playoffs. He was still laboring a little bit, but he don't look as fatigued. He didn't look like he was dealing with injuries as much. And again, all he needs from me personally to say this man is the best player in the world. If he beats the Celtics, I'm there. It's like, this is a healthy second team. I'm saying he's the best player in the world because no one else in the NBA has went on a run like this and beat a team that's the best team since the 2017 Warriors. No one has done that. And I'm sorry. Like, and when we get to our finals predictions, we're gonna talk about that. But no one has a win like this besides LeBron. I mean, like, obviously, but LeBron not his prime no more. But Jokic doesn't have a run where he has to go up against the best team we've seen since the 2017 Warriors. And what's confusion in your face, Max? I want to know.
I just think it's a dumb criteria that you have. I don't know.
What criteria?
No one has done it. No one has done this no one has done this since 2017. I don't know. It's like the whole point is
I'm
like,
not saying that. They haven't. Jokic hasn't beat a team that's good.
Yeah, the only person that you're really putting up toe to toe with him is Jokic, correct?
Yes, he hasn't, and he has not beat a team.
You're obviously not putting Giannis in the conversation 1-2. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just think it's weird, but yeah, I just think it's a weird that this is it. I don't know.
Yes,
I think the runs. I think the runs very,
Celtics
very
are the holy grail.
Huh?
The Celtics are like they're the holy grail right now. They're the best team we've seen.
Are you saying
no one's
doing this? No one's doing this. I just think it's weird, but I don't know.
It would be the hardest finals run we've seen since the Mavericks. The Mavericks again. It would be the hardest finals run we've seen since the Mavericks. There's not a harder final run we've seen since 2011. If you can give me one,
I'm not fighting it. I just think it's weird criteria. I've been saying this the whole time. I've been saying that this Mavs run is very, very impressive. I'm not saying that it hasn't.
So what's weird?
I think 3 regular season MVPs means a lot to me. Showing that dominance in the 3 regular season.
Luka has been.
Don't get too caught up in teeth when he says Giannis is not in the conversation because the world, he's still in the conversation. He just
Giannis is top 3 for sure.
Yeah, Giannis was in the conversation for the past 3 years. He's still going to be in the conveation. Don't worry about that.
If Luka wins the finals, it's not. I don't think there's a debate between me and Jokic. I think he's a far better playoff performer.
You also have bias in this.
It's still gonna be a conversation, bro. Like, maybe not to you, it's not a conversation, but you still have to operate how in the same vein that everybody's still gonna have that same thing, have an argument because his resume stacks up just the same as everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, his resume is actually better than Luka's right now. His run was just better.
I'm not talking about resumes. I'm not talking about resumes. I'm talking about just being a better basketball player. I don't put too much.
Luka was a better basketball player than Giannis for 3 years already. Literally, Luka hasn't done anything better than what he's done 2 years ago. Like that's not getting better. My fault. To me, in my opinion, he hasn't done anything better than what he did 2 years ago because he's been the same player. Like, he's been the same player. He's just that good. His
pull-up shooting has increased a lot.
What?
His pull-up shooting has increased a lot. He's been better off the ball.
Those are minuscule things that doesn't really like sway the balance of what you really are as a player. That's a come and go type thing. Pull-up shooting is like a is a streaky thing. That's never something that's just set in stone all the time. Like it's gonna come and go. Pull-up shooting doesn't usually last for a whole career.
I think it will for Luka. I mean, he's been one of the best pull-up shooters in general over his entire career, but its the efficiency just went up so much this year. As an overall 3-point shooter, he's been better off the ball. In this run, he's been a better defender, a team defender in this run as well. So the combination of those things, and then him actually getting to the finals, and him being a better player. I don't think he's been a better basketball player than Giannis over the last 3 seasons or whatever. But I don't think it's really a debate anymore. If he makes the finals and win it,
I kind of do. I agree with the fact that it will always be a debate. For you, maybe not, because I think Giannis's two-way ability is still gonna like set in people's minds. I'm not gonna talk about that. My thing is more Jokic. Like I don't think it's clear, cut in stone, that Luka is better than Jokic if he makes this run.
I didn't say that. I never said that once.
So
I never said that. I'm saying I will have Luka as the best player in the world. I didn't never say it was not a conversation or clear cut in stone.
Are you saying with Giannis then it's not a conversation? What do you think is not a conversation?
Oh, I said it's not a conversation with Giannis. No.
Okay. Regardless, I strongly I don't know. I think that there's still a lot to be done. I think the 3 regular season MVPs matters to me. I think I don't know.
Luka has
value
been in the MVP conversation. Luka has been in the MVP
conversation. He hasn't been winning. Jokic has 3. I love Luka, but I'm just saying, Jokic has 3 MVPs.
Luka has been in the conversation for MVP. That's what you about to say.
He said yes. That.
Okay.
He's been in the conversation for MVP. Yes.
Giannis has been in the conversation for MVP also for the past 7 years.
No, he's talking about He's talking about he was talking about Jokic and why it's 3 MVPs. That's what he's talking about. And I say yes. I say Luka has been in
he's saying that he's saying that if you're using that for Luka, then what's the same thing with Giannis has been in the MVP conversation.
I don't use MVP. I don't use
Luka
MVPs.
has been a top 3 candidate. There's been other like Embiid was a top 3 finisher MVP for 3 years, 4 years. Nobody's saying Embiid's a second best player in the league.
I don't really use MVPs as a baseline for who's a better player, to be honest. I think again, Luka is a much better playoff performer than Giannis, and he's it's a big extreme margin as far as who's a better offensive player. It's like the same thing. It's literally the same argument you can use for Jokic and Giannis. You can use it for Luka and Giannis. You literally can. He's a much better offensive player, by a lot. He's a much better playoff performer by a lot. That's why he's a overall better player. Transcending offense is always going to be transcending offense is always going to be two-way ability.
Again, but I don't think that this is some conversation over it's done, because the gap is huge defensively. They both have a ring. You can talk about whatever you want. They both have a ring. They don't both have MVPs. And again, we're talking about ifs because Luka still hasn't won it yet. I don't know.
And you would look at
conversations for sure. But yes, this run.
You would look at Luka's championship run, and look at Giannis' finals run, and then compare the two, and how it looked. And look at Luka's playoff resume, and look at his playoff resume, and how it looked. It's not close.
Okay, they both have 1 ring.
Yeah, but rings, different rings matter more.
I get you, but everything past that is just okay. Luka made 1 Western Conference Finals.
He's a better playoff performer by a lot.
I guess I value about
disagree?
where you get in the playoffs. I guess I value about where you get in the playoffs too.
Where you get in the playoffs is
I think yes, and has performed well in his smaller sample size, right? Ant's been in 5 playoff series and has played well. I still need to see a full body of work to call someone a good or bad playoff performer. I need to see what happens in big games. Besides,
I don't think you need to do that. I honestly don't think you need to do that.
For me personally, fine.
Luka was a great playoff performer off his first 2 series.
I guess when I'm trying to compare complete bodies of work, how many years has Giannis been in the league?
How many Western Conference Finals has Giannis been to? 2? I mean, Eastern Conference Finals.
Zero Eastern Conference Finals. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice.
So they're both on
twice, right? Okay. Yeah, so that's some big gap.
Jokic only made it twice.
He did. Giannis be losing in the first and second rounds, bro. I don't know why you.
Are you putting this year against him?
Hold on. Hold on.
Injured
No,
like 3
I'm just saying.
times.
I'm not saying. Last year he lost in the first round.
He's
You
been injured like
being
3
being
times.
disingenuous because his first playoff series he wasn't Giannis. Like you feel me? That wasn't really like peak Giannis.
Hey, that's not my
Last
fault.
year last it's only never your fault when it don't fit your narrative. That's your favorite.
Luka wasn't prime Luka in his first playoff series.
I just don't know, bro.
But you're
And that's why
He
it's not
wasn't.
look, and that's why I say, bro, it's not a knock to say bro did not get better. Because he just came in, bro. He just came in and been the man. Like he came in and been the man. He was after his first series, first playoff game, he had 42. Like he was a top 2 playoff scorer the moment he stepped in the playoffs. Like he just been this good. Like, and it's not a knock. He's just that good. It's that board shit that people were doing with LeBron. Like he's still doing this. You feel me? Like I don't know. That's
All right, let's talk about the Timberwolves' future. Max, where do you think they should go from this point? Obviously, losing the West Conference Finals made it very far. Was unexpected for most people coming into the year. Me and Q had them as a top 4 seed, but I don't think we had them in the West Conference Finals. So, what's next for the Timberwolves?
It's really not to freak out. I guess like coaching wise, it'll still be Chris Finch. You obviously might lose. What's their assistant's name again?
Mike.
Is Finch still better than Jason Kidd?
Nori. It's player personnel. If Cat, like we can do whatever we want.
Oh my God! No.
95.
He outcoached him. He outcoached him bad. He outcoached him bad, bro. What are we doing? It was like really like
you also got to look at 2 stars. The stars versus stars. Like Luka and Kyrie dominated versus Ant and Cat. Like Ant and Cat did not show up for every game. 3 games they did not do anything.
And for 3 games,
Chris Finch is on the Chris Finch is behind the bench. He's behind the bench.
I'm not hearing that. Listen,
he's not even actually coaching.
Chris Finch did not make an adjustment for 3 games. He didn't put
Jalen
down.
Okay.
What does that have to do with making adjustments? What are you talking about? Come on, Max. So he can't make an adjustment because he's behind the bench. He can call a timeout and make an adjustment. It's not that hard. What are you talking about?
He's literally sitting behind the bench. I'm sorry. It is a difference between sitting behind the bench and being courtside, but that's fine.
So he can't tell his assistant. He can't tell his assistant to call. He can't tell his assistant to call a timeout and make an adjustment. He didn't put Jalen McDaniels on Kyrie to have him with more length until game 4. Like, what are we talking about right now? He kept in drop coverage for 2 games. And the blitzing. It was no really like the adjustment probably would have been like some people suggested benching Rudy, but their defense without Rudy on the court was terrible. So I don't think that was the answer.
I think first of all,
Cal Anderson was an adjustment.
The defense is spoiled. Luka exposed him. I'm not like I don't know. I guess I'm giving it more to Luka the kid. But what was I even saying? Oh, it's the big thing is to
great game plan.
The big thing is to not freak out. Like their team is going to be the same or similar. The only big issue is going to be Cat. And I don't think you trade Cat unless the offer is good, obviously. You don't freak out and just trade Cat for something. Because if Cat plays well, you're potentially looking at a different series. Those first 2 games were close. If Cat doesn't shoot, 20% for the first 2 games, it could be a different series. If he actually is able to put in shots, be consistent, and be more effective on the offense side of the ball, like he's been all year, I truly think that this could be a different series. So I think the big thing is just to not overreact, to not freak out. But if a good trade does pop up, like obviously search it out. But bench pieces, you got to keep Nas, you got to keep Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They were huge. Jay McDaniels, obviously, Rudy, and like maybe I don't know what Mike Conley's going to be next year. I'd say another guard or another point guard for playmaking off the bench. I don't know. I think it's minimal though. I think it's very minimal work around the edges.
I've already talked about their future in reaction to, I believe, game 3. Once they went down 3-0, I started talking about their future. And I got some slander on Instagram because I said they should trade Cat. But he kind of handicaps what they can do with this team just because he's making $50 million to start the season next year. And they're going to be over the second apron in 2025 and 2026. They clearly need to get some more perimeter creation. This Western Conference Finals and this playoff run exposed that they don't have a lot of perimeter creation outside of Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards is a below average playmaker right now, and so he can't really run your offense. Mike Conley is a good playmaker, but he provides no real rim pressure, no real advantage creation, and so they need to get another perimeter threat to help out with Anthony Edwards, probably a point guard. But to get a high end point guard, they will probably have to move Cat. And moving Cat is so difficult because of one, his contract, and two, his age. He's getting up there in age. He's about to be 30 after next season. He's also just, again, we don't know if he's good enough to be a second option on a championship team. He still got to prove that. So they obviously need to prove this team offensively, but they have little avenues to do it. So they're probably going to run his back. And what they're going to have to do is bank on the jump from Anthony Edwards, which can still happen. He's only 22. You still gonna get probably a few more jumps for him, offensively, defensively, that type of stuff. They'll have to bank on a jump from Jay McDaniels, who they're going to be paying about $30 million a year on that rookie scale max extension. They're going to have to bank on a jump from him. And then they're going to have to bank on Nas to stay where he is or keep improving. And they really can't trade Rudy or Cat. They can't trade Cat because nobody wants him and for that contract. They can't trade Rudy because he's the foundation of their defense, and their defense is going to take a real big jump. I mean, real big dip if he's on the team. So they're kind of in a situation where they got to run it back, and so they have to bank on those players to continue to improve. So they're not in the worst spot or anything like that. I just don't think their window to win a championship is as long as people think it is, because their team's going to get very, very expensive in the next few years, and so their depth and flexibility is going to continue to dwindle. So yeah.
The big thing is they are going to need to adjust, right? Like if Cat and if Mike Conley are out, like you're just gonna have to figure out new pieces to put next to Ant to build championship contender. So their championship window will probably be Ant, whatever that is, and putting pieces around him. It's just I think how they win games is gonna obviously look different as the revolving door of people or new teammates come in.
They need to try to get Darius Garland. To be honest, that's what they need to be trying to get.
I've seen it.
Because if
I've seen it.
Donovan Mitchell
Trading Cat for Darius Garland,
I don't think there's a gap, there's much of a gap between those two players. I promise you, it's not.
I think because of the money, but I think I'm taking Cat over DG at even money. At like the same contract
for this team.
Cat.
For this team, I don't know. For this
team,
I don't know.
I don't know.
They can slot Nas Reed in there and put Darius Garland in the
start
lineup. And
I get what you're saying as far as a team, but like I don't know. You
you want DG.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just like, could you get more value elsewhere though?
Cat on the, like you just swap them. Cat for the idea of Cat and like the attributes itself, he fits the Cavs. You feel me? Just like how DG fit the Wolves. Like if like Lowry fit the Cavs. Lowry, like right now, Lowry fits the Cavs. Cat is basically Kyle Lowry. I'm not saying they're the same player or the same level. They're about the same level of player, whatever. But a big that can shoot and can stretch the floor. That's literally what they need. You could put him right next to Evan Mobley, and they'll probably I get it. Like a regular season, you could run D. Mitch, Mobley, and Cat, and you'll probably be fine. You'll probably have a good enough offense to, get you a top 4 or 5 seed. Playoffs, that's a whole different story. So we can't really talk about that too much because we already know what that's going to be. Like you just going to eat that at the back end. But DG on the Timberwolves, that's a lot better because Ant don't really got to do too much. He'd probably still get the same volume of shots without having to have the ball in his hands like so much. Like his usage will go down, his turnovers will go down. Because DG would do most of that work. You know what I'm saying?
I think Cat works out east. I think Cat can win you games and play in the playoff out east.
Yeah, of course he can.
Like I think it's like
Julius Randle and Cat, they're the same like level of player. Julius Randle was during the regular season probably a top 15 player in the East. Like like so Julius Randle could do what Cat could do. They about the same level of dude. Julius Randle a little bit more like his game a little bit more different. Like he's more aggressive. Like he gets to the cup, he battles down there whether he makes it or misses. You know what I mean? You still feel good about it because he's good through the regular season. Cat's a different person. He doesn't like bang how Julius Randle bangs, so like his game translates a little bit different. But I mean, for 82 game season, I'd be fine with either or.
So, Q, what do you think before we end this segment off? What do you think that the
There's
Timberwolves should do with their future?
there's no clear answer, but you need playmaker. You need a playmaker. You probably need a playmaker in both lineups, in a bench lineup and in the starting role.
Mike Conley is
Just
the bench one.
if he stay, I mean, he probably had to be going. Like you trade, like if you trade for DG, he's probably in that trade package. Like it'd probably be Cat. It'd probably be a whole. It probably won't be like two teams. It'll probably be a third team. Mike Conley probably ends up somewhere else unless they really want to keep him. You feel me? If they really want to keep him, all right, whatever. Then he'll be on the bench. But I don't anticipate him being there if they're trading for. They're getting a very like a starting caliber point guard.
Okay.
I think they're good.
He ain't
Like
making that much.
1 through like 2, 3, and 4. Like in their starting lineup, I think it's fine. If you swap out Cat for Nas Reed and like you just run that, I think they'll be fine. Their bench could use some help. But like it's not like extremely like a need, but like they have a bunch of the same like recurring things on the bench. I don't think everything is like I don't think it's like a clear cut thing. I think they have to do some real shuffling around, especially due to a lot of money and whatnot.
They don't have that many options to me because of their cap space, but I really don't think Cat has a market, to be honest, because of his contract. Like I don't know, not many teams can absorb that and still be a good playoff team. Maybe the Cavs can, but I don't know how comfortable they would be paying the Supermax to Cat and Donovan Mitchell. So, but I got a blind ranking. Y'all gonna have to say. All right, I got it. I got a blind ranking. So, what are we gonna do before we talk about the finals? All right.
Yeah, what's is it based off of like? It's based off who's the best duo.
It's backcourts. It's not duos. I didn't want to just do duos at
That's
backcourts.
fine. Yeah.
All right. Blind rank these all-time NBA backcourts. The first name up to get it started, Clay and Steph.
All right. Is this like accomplishments baked into it, or is just like player for player?
Listen, it's not my criteria. It's y'all criteria. Y'all do what y'all want.
So I mean, I think it should, because like obviously Luka and Kyrie are going to be on here. Their accomplishments are nothing compared to everybody else on this list so far. I think
you don't even know who's on here.
Huh?
You don't know who's on here, bro.
It's probably the same names that have been on every single one of them.
Okay.
So I don't know. Should it be like, because again, it's like you can have two great players, but it's also they play together. Like Clay and Steph just play great together. Like Luke and Kyrie just play great together. I don't know. I'm fine. Like I'll say either 2 or 3, and I'll let you pick.
2 or 3. Interesting. Q.
I'm trying to think of who else on the list.
Listen, I'm gonna let the accomplishments be baked into this conversation. They're one.
You think they're best of all time? No one else. I thought you'd want to go 3.
If accomplishments matter, they're number one.
Yeah. I'm
3 is wild.
I know. I kind of think I thought 2 matter spot, but what?
Accomplishments have to matter. Like I'm gonna give it like 30-40%. Like it weighs heavily. Like 40% on that scale.
But
so if that's the case, they're number one.
Good split, Q.
But for the future, I guess we'll get to it when we go there. I'm fine with 1. I wanted to be at 2. I'm fine with 1. I want to be at 2. I'm fine with 1. I don't know who I'd have over it.
You said you're fine with 1, but you said 2 or 3.
I thought he would go lower. I didn't think he had love for the backcourt.
I would say that was a smart decision, Q. That was probably.
I don't have love for the backcourt, but that's for the Clay side of things. Like,
yeah,
Clay is a great offensive player. Is like, you feel me?
I guess I thought that would drop you down. I think 2 is pretty safe. I thought that dropped you down.
All right. Next duo up is Isaiah Thomas, and Joe Dumars.
I'm comfortably putting them at 4. If y'all want to tag Isaiah Thomas on Twitter because you know he like to respond. You could. I'll battle out with the old head. I don't care. You can put him at 4.
I think 2 championship rings.
Yeah, I would want to put him at 3.
You want to put him at 3, but you had the dudes with 4 rings.
These guys are good. Oh my gosh. Stephen Clay. Yeah, Stephen Clay are 2. I said Stephen Clay are 2. I'll put these guys 3.
They're not in the same breath, bro.
I don't have very many backcourts better than Joe and Isaiah.
All right.
Let's make a decision.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it and leave 1, 3, 5 open. It's basic as chalk. Whatever.
All right.
Go for it.
Next up is Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili.
5. 5. The skill level is just not even close, bro. I'm not like, and no disrespect, like Manu is great, especially like overseas and whatnot, but like as an NBA player, bro, is just don't even. It's not the same, bro.
Overseas is crazy.
It's the NBA, bro. This all that stuff in Argentina, bro. I don't really.
You agree with 5?
Like,
you agree with 5, Max?
Yeah, they won 4 rings. Like, again, you're talking about body work. They won 4 rings together.
That was not. That was not. That was
That
Tim Duncan, bro.
rings, bro.
Monty was on the bench. Monty was on the bench. Like that's the big thing. Is like Monty wasn't even starting for the ring.
Three of those 4. Tim Duncan literally did that.
Yeah, Monty's a 6th man of the year. They're sporting cast. I wouldn't put him 3. So yeah.
You saying 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 1. Like no.
All right. The next name up is Kyrie and Luka. You guys have what, 2 and 3 open? 2?
But like, how does that make sense? Then when you talk about body of work and accolades and accomplishments,
I said that only works like that's only like 40% to me. You feel me?
They made the finals. That's an accolade.
You feel me?
they made the finals. That's
60, 60% of that is heavily weighted on who they are as players and what they've done together. And what they've done together, you feel me, is like, again, they made the finals. That's one notch. But like them as players,
but my thinking,
nobody else below them is better players than Luka and or Kyrie. Isaiah Thomas, everybody else is not close.
My thinking is like, first of all, it's whoever's the next person because we only have 2 and 3. But if you're valuing 40% at accomplishments, let's say you give them 5 or 10 of that percent for making a finals, the most they can get is a 70%. Like they can't get more than that. You know what I'm saying? They like
sure.
Like the most you're getting is a C. Like that's not great. A C, damn near a D. So
but then like Manu drops his Manu skill and Tony Parker skill drop.
That's fine, but that's why
that puts him at like a D.
But that's why I'm arguing about Joe and Isaiah. Is it full 40%? No, but I think it's probably 30. 2 rings back to back. I think that's probably 30%, and they got to be 50% the rest of the way, and you're at 80. Like I think it's all about whatever person's next. Again, it's all about whatever's duo is next. So, I mean,
are you putting 2 or 3 guys? Stop.
I would. I don't know who you have last. I would, if we're putting 40% of accolades on it, I'm going 3.
I love it too. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Last name is CB3 and James Harden.
I don't know. I can't see your reaction. Should
listen to Q. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's like
that's a common theme around here. I don't know.
In my opinion, the list is bad, anyways. So
I don't think it's bad. I think it's perfect.
I think CP3 and Harden should drop to 4, easy.
Yo, Latif, stop playing.
How?
CP3 and Harden should drop to 4. Like Isaiah and Dumars should be 3. Isaiah and Dumars should at least be
I
3.
guess.
I guess it's crazy.
Yeah.
What did Harden and Chris Paul do?
They went to like
Two
West Conference Finals. They would have made the finals. They didn't have to go against the Warriors.
They
And
lost to the best team ever, bro. They lost to the best team ever.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Are we being serious?
Like,
that backcourt is more talented than Joe and DeMar by far. By far.
Joe,
like by far.
Joe and DeMar.
I mean, Isaiah. No, that
and by the
backcourt.
Both those,
you gotta understand, as players, bro. As just strictly as players, Zeke and Dumars and Manu and Ginobili. Manu and TP are drastically lower compared to the top 3. Like the talent level just doesn't compare. Like it's not even close. You feel me? That's where they get the bump.
I would say if y'all would have had y'all listened to Q, the list would have been perfect for sure. Y'all would listened to Q, the list would have been perfect.
I disagree by that.
Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, they're nowhere near as talented. I feel like as a combination of.
We just talked about having work though, like, and again, you can say
that was more. That was more than just that duo, bro. That team won championships because of the entire team. Like it was not just them two, bro. It was not.
And it wasn't Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas wasn't backpacking in those finals. Like Joe Dumars was actually the dude in those.
He was the one who got finals MVPs.
Isaiah Thomas wasn't going crazy in the finals, so it's like a Billups thing, like damn near. Again, like the reason why you get to put them on the list is because they have the team accolades. If it wasn't for the team accolades, if we just took player for player, they would not be high on anybody's list. Like Isaiah Thomas, without accolades, probably won't be a top 10 point guard all the time.
But again, just what we talked about is this list. There was 30-40% of accolades too.
That was me. That was my criteria.
I'm with that. I agree. I think that winning stuff matters, and whatever you can say what you want, but that mattered. So
it depends on how things are getting won. Just because they won it, don't mean they're the reason that they won it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, player for player, I think CP3 is better than Isaiah Thomas. Maybe not in Houston, but for his career, yes. And
fine.
Player for player,
player for player, talent-wise, Solo's both.
Both? I wouldn't say both, but
Harden.
Harden is better. Yeah, Harden is also better than.
And he's better than Dumars.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, he is. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying, bro.
Tony Parker and Ginobili put together.
Literally.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. So, wait, Q. Do you agree that if y'all would have had Kyrie and Luka too, that the list would have been good?
I would have been fine. I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with that.
I think it would have been perfect.
And I understand sports like winning has to matter, but then you gotta understand this is a team sport, so it's not. I could be the best, like they could be the best that they can be, but if they don't have the better team, 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Those Pistons teams, that was a great defensive team. You just needed one person to score, and Joe Dumars did that. Because you've seen they did it again 20 years later with the Pistons with Chauncey Billups. They had a great defensive team. They only needed one player to score. That doesn't mean the backcourt of Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton is great, because it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like the Manu TP shit, Manu was on the pine starting them games. Like you can't put him in the same stratosphere as CP3 and James Harden or Luka and Kyrie. We're talking about they playing 40 minutes a night, giving you a 30 piece every single time. Like that has to count for something. Like talent matters still.
All right, let's move on to our NBA Finals preview. It's been a long season, you guys. Been a long road to get here. Podcast is growing a lot. I did not expect the Mavericks to be here in the NBA Finals. I definitely expected the Celtics to be here for a large part of the year. But it's time to make your picks, and I want to start with Q. I started with Max last segment. Q. I'm probably gonna do separate TikToks for everybody. So for you, for me, for Max, breaking down our NBA Finals pick, and why we got the team winning, who we got winning. So you've been on the Mavs train basically all playoffs basically. Have not picked against in them yet, I don't think. So are you sticking with them in the finals?
I want to start this off by like understanding the teams and how they play and how they match up. You know what I'm saying? This is the worst matchup they probably could have got, specifically based off how Boston decides to run their offense. And it's not like they're running their offense; it's just the talent level of the players that they're going to have on the court every single time. If Kristaps is healthy and he's playing, that's a big wrinkle for their team. Like the 5 out will neutralize as much as possible Gafford and or Lively. Their best option would be running out a lot of Cleveland lineups, but I mean he's still getting back together. They don't have the defend. I don't think they have like the defenders to bother Luka because like Derek White and Drew Holiday cool, but we watched Drew Holiday get killed last year by somebody bigger than him and Jimmy Butler, and Luka's a way better player than him. Derek White is going to be the same thing damn near how it was with Jaden McDaniels. Like he's just too small. He knows what it be and whatnot. He's crafty, but it's only so that's only going to work so much. Luka's going to figure it out. You give him a game, he's going to feel it out. He has like that LeBron thing, like the losing game one or like not playing great in game one. That's really a feel out game for a person that's cerebral as him. Kyrie, again, he could go through his lows. He might start low, slow. He might start hot, but he'll figure it out. Boston, if they just rely on their own talent, they should really come out of this series in 6. And that's my pick, Boston in 6. I don't want to pick it against Dallas. I think like even though I think Boston wins in 6, I still think Dallas has a shot to win this series. I just don't think this is the time. I think not that this is a consolation prize for the Mavericks, but I think they feel confident enough that whatever happens after this finals, that they have a long, they could figure things out. Next season they probably win it next year because I don't think Boston's one of those teams that could just run it back. And out of every other team in the East, I think Dallas probably handles them in 5 or 6 games, just like they did, the West, which was a tougher conference. You would think that would mean Dallas went through this gauntlet. They could go, handle Boston, but Boston's a team of destiny right now, and it'd be hard pressed to pick against them right here, right now. And I'm just not going to do that.
Max, your finals pick?
It's not going to change from what it's been for majority of the year. I think before the year, I actually had Phoenix and Boston. I believed in the Frank Vogel experiment. That obviously didn't work out. But it's quickly been Denver and Boston all year. And I think a healthy Boston team is just going to beat anybody. But health does come into play as a factor. I assume Kristaps will be all ready to go game 1. I guess we'll see. I don't know. It's just like there are too many excuses for this Boston team in the past couple of years for why stuff didn't go well or whatever. And now it seems like they've just been able to patch everything up. When Tatum doesn't go off, Jaylen Brown might, but they have Drew Holiday and Derek White to back up. Al Horford's still playing pretty solid as the 17th year guy. Kristaps, you have the bigs on defense. You have Peyton Pritchard who could put in good minutes. They have all the pieces they need. Joe Mazzulla's been coaching pretty well, but this team really hasn't been tested. And I think besides an injured Indiana team that gave him a couple games, this team really doesn't look like it's been tested. And I think that could play into effect if Dallas obviously comes out firing and Luka and Kyrie start going off for the first couple of games, actually tests and tries this Boston team. With that being said, though, I just think it's too much offense, too much defense. This team's just been the best all year, all season long. And they've been it for a reason. At home, they're great. I don't know. I just think it's too much. I think, in my opinion, going Boston's way. They get time to let Kristaps rest. I don't know what Derek Lively's looking like, but obviously he gets time to rest too. Both players are huge to their team. I'm just I don't know. I was going Boston in 6. I could see Boston 5. I could see Boston 7. There's a world where I see Luka going off and the Mavs could even win the series. And I hope it happens. But my biggest gripe and the biggest issue I'll have with this series, though, is the conversation of Jason Tatum. First of all, if he wins the finals, Jason Tatum, I feel like, is going to be, and you guys can say no. I've literally seen 3 or 4 TikToks about this today. Jason Tatum getting catapulted into top 3, 4, 5 conversations. Jason Tatum getting into conversations that he's better than Luka. Jason Tatum being that he can be a bona fide championship team. This team is stacked. This team is like Latif said, this is one of the best teams since the 2017 Warriors. Like, this team, when healthy, is amazing. Statistically, whatever. Like, this team is great. And, like, I don't think, like, this is some tough thing, like, at this point in time. They got to play Miami injured, Cleveland injured, Indiana injured, and I get you have to play who you play. But, like, this run wasn't dominant. This run was just a cakewalk. And then you get to play a tough Dallas team. I get that.
I don't want to cut you off, but I have to. Part of the reason why teams go out and get the 1 seed is so that their path was easier to the finals. That's literally for every 1 seed out there, like, that's literally the just, if we get the 1 seed, we're gonna have an easy road to the finals. Like, that's the goal. That's why people go out there and try to get the best record possible. Because, if you have the 1 seed, that should already be impressive in itself. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna face back. Like, you knew going into the season that Boston's gonna get the 1 seed and they're gonna have an easy path to the finals because one is the East and they're gonna have the 1 seed.
That's me. I get that. I 100% get that. It's just the injuries. That's what gets me, is every team's one suddenly just goes out. That's like the issue where it's like, it's, again, you play who you play. I get it. When we're looking at body of work and we're looking at all this stuff, I just don't think it's as impressive of a run because of all the injuries when, like, I look at it side by side.
So, yeah, but that means you got to discount every 1 seed that's won the championship.
I don't think so. I'm
not saying the one.
This is the weakest finals run ever. It's okay to say that.
If you beat a healthy Miami, cool. If you beat a healthy Cleveland, cool. Like, it's still the same teams. It's just the fact that they're all out.
Quick question.
Help it. It's just
do you think any of those teams healthy were going to beat Boston?
No, but I think you push it to 6 maybe once. I think Cleveland should win another game.
I'm going to ask you again. Do you think any of those teams beat Boston healthy?
But hold on, time out. No, but my thing is, do I look at it the same if all their ones are gone? Yes. I don't look at it the same. I don't think it looks as impressive to me. Like, I think it looks like
Let's be serious. People are saying it's the weakest finals run in NBA history, which it arguably probably is, because the players are out. Whether the fact that if they're going to beat the teams doesn't matter, but when they don't have their players, it makes it easier. That's the thing.
I get the logic. I'm not stupid. I understand the logic. What I'm saying is, if they would have beat Miami, the Cavs, and Indiana, this would have still been the same conversation.
It's still mid. But, like, you have more credibility beating real teams.
Calm down. It wouldn't even, because realistically, though, if the teams were healthy, though, then it wouldn't even been Indiana in the Western Conference Finals to begin with. It would have been the Philly, it would have been Milwaukee, or it would have been the Knicks. Like, if teams were like, the East was just devastated by injuries the entire season.
Time out. Because Boston also got the injury bug, right? Like, Kristaps was not there. Like,
that's not an injury bug. That's not an injury bug.
I honestly, they were gonna make the finals if Kristaps was not playing.
100%. Injuries away, like, yes, they're
not
making
injury
it.
bug.
My thing is, yes, everybody's getting. I'm just saying the injury bug, whatever. It's fine. Like, this Boston team is great. Don't get me wrong. This Boston team is great. When I'm looking at runs side by side, I wish I could have seen them stack up next to better teams, and it's just not what happened. This Dallas team, I think, is our first test. I don't think that's crazy to say that. Again, like, you play who you play. Understand a ring's a ring at some point in time. But, like, when I'm just looking at it, you see Dallas, who went through a gauntlet to get here and has to play Boston, and Boston got to, like, skip all the way to the finals. And again, it's fine. It's 2 passes to get there, but it's just like, I don't value it the same. That's all. So
skip all the way to the finals is crazy. Man, I was saying that Celtics fans did not like that take at all. They were cooking me in the comments on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram when I said this is the weakest finals run in NBA history. But I think it's true. I don't think Celtics fans should care, though. Like, if you're a Celtics fan, do you really care? No, you don't care.
Who cares? Yeah. You're in the finals.
Yeah, I don't care if I'm a Celtics fan. I'm getting to my finals pick, though. I want the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic to win his finals. really, really badly. I want Luka to get his first ring. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's my second favorite player in the NBA outside of LeBron James. But I'm not picking them in the series. I think the scheme that they've used throughout this finals run, where they have packed the paint, they have played strong side heads, they play boxing elbows to allow shooters to allow role players to knock down threes, to make players attack closeouts. It's not going to work against the Boston Celtics because the Boston Celtics have 5 players that can not only knock down threes, but they can create mismatches on the court. They can attack the basket and they can attack closeouts. When you have someone like Kristaps Porzingis, he's the X factor in the series of Boston. If he's healthy, he's going to be able to draw Derek Lively outside of the paint and create mismatches on the court where he can get into that post game, and he's really, really good there. They just don't have the defensive personnel as great as Luka and Kyrie is. They don't have the defensive personnel to actually, I believe, win a series. If you like the problem with the Timberwolves, they couldn't switch those pick and rolls that much. Rudy Gobert on the perimeter, but when you have Kristaps Porzingis, you have Jaylen Brown, you have Derek White, you have Jason Tatum, you can switch every single pick and roll, and that's probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to switch everything. They're going to play 5 on the offense. I think their team is just too talented, as great as Luka and Kyrie are, for the Mavericks to beat them. And I would be pretty shocked if the Mavericks win a series. And I would be. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying earlier. If Luka wins a series, there's not one single conversation I won't put him in. There's not a single conversation you can have in basketball where I feel like, yeah, I'm not putting Luka in that. Us is the GOAT debate. So that's how good the Celtics team is, and that's how good it's been this entire year. And schematically, I just don't know how the Mavericks are going to deal with them because the scheme that they've employed through the first 3 series of this run, it's not going to work against Boston. Against the Clippers, they packed the paint, and they let the Clippers shoot. The Clippers were among the bottom 10, I believe, or bottom 15 of the NBA in 3-pointers made. The Thunder, while they shot great from the 3-point line, as far as actual makes and attempts, they weren't that high in the league. They're, I think, a bottom 15 or bottom 10 3-point make teams. Their percentage is good, but they don't have a lot of volume 3-point shooters. You're fine with guarding. You're fine with letting Dort, Giddey, J-Dub, Chet shoot threes, even Shea. That 5 out is nowhere near the level of Boston's 5 out. Boston made the most threes in the regular season, and they made it at the highest percentage. They are a dominant offense. They're a dominant defense. While I do think they can have success against Boston's defense, I don't know if the Mavericks defense is going to be able to shut down the Celtics. And if I think they're also going to be able to hunt Luka and Kyrie in mismatches. Jason Tatum, like every single person on the Celtics offense can hunt mismatches. Like Drew Holiday can get into the post and operate against a smaller defender, and Kyrie, he could probably even back down Luka. Like Drew Holiday is really strong. Jaylen Brown can obviously hunt mismatches, hit tough shots in the mid range, hit threes, get to the basket at elite level. Jason Tatum, we know he can hunt mismatches. KP is one of the best centers or at hunting mismatches in the post from the 3-point line in the entire NBA. It's like it's so much of my analysis is just leaning towards the Clippers, where I can't. This is not a situation you can be like, "Oh, Luka is the best player in the series." I mean, the Celtics. My bad. The Celtics.
Don't ever utter the Clippers on this pie ever again. We done with them.
You can't. This is not one of those series where you can go into it and be like, "Luka's the best player in the series. They're gonna win it." Like that. It doesn't feel like that at all to me, because like in 09, I felt like LeBron was the best player. I mean, in 07, I feel like LeBron was the best player in the series, and it wasn't enough. I obviously have Kyrie and a much more talented roster, but I think the Celtics team is one of the best we've seen since the Golden State Warriors in 2017. So I have the I didn't even say who I got winning. I have the Celtics in 6. Yep, I do.
I really hope I'm wrong.
I agree.
I do too.
I would love Dallas to win this. It would be so nice.
It had nothing, but see, a lot of people don't. They want Dallas to win because they don't want Boston to win. I don't care. You feel me? I don't care if Boston win or lose. This is strictly a Luka agenda. You know what I'm saying?
If the Thunder were out of the the playoffs, my dream finals matchup would have been Dallas and Milwaukee. and I probably would have wanted Luka to win his first ring. Like I hated Dallas for when we played him, but I don't like this whole team is just so likable, especially with Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah, I need Luka to get his first his players finals, bro. Because then he gonna be like probably like top 30, top 25 conversations. We gonna get the ball rolling early, man. We gonna get the ball rolling early, and he gonna finish his career in those top 10 conversations probably. Maybe we don't know. I ain't gonna lie, he might be on trajectory for like top 5. To be honest,
the thing is, we do kind of know because there's certain things that you could project. Like you know Nick, right? He when he started doing his podcast, he'd been working on like even before he started his podcast, he was working on his 50 greatest players in the last 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like was doing that before he even started doing whatever like the podcast and whatnot. And he had Luka at like 35 or like 30 or something. And people was like, bro, he only been in the league. Like at the time, he only like Luka was like only in like his third or maybe fourth year. I think it was his third year. What was 2022? 2022? Yeah, that was his fourth year. And it was like, oh, it's too early. But like you can literally project that because a lot of like the rankings and resume things has like you feel me, it's just a resume. It's like what you did, your playoff runs and whatnot. He already has a more sophisticated playoff resume than like 80% of the NBA. Like in terms of stars. His like counting numbers are gonna be there. The counting accolades, like how many times he makes an all NBA team, all-star game, scoring title, whatever, those are we literally know. Like I don't want like we don't know, but we know that Luka's probably gonna be like at least an all NBA, like 10-time all NBA player, at least a 10-time all-star. He's probably gonna win another scoring title, probably snags an MVP or two. So like if he has all of those, he's literally in that room with Jokic and Giannis and KD and all of them is at, and then he after that point he's just trying to stack some rings and whatnot. In like 5 years, we could look up. He probably has 2 rings. He probably has the MVP, another scoring title, and then now we really talking about like, all right, the Jokic thing. You know how like people were trying to put the Jokic over like Hakeem and whatnot. Luka can get that same treatment to in the next 3-4 years, in my opinion.
He better not. I ain't gonna lie, man. Luka, Hakeem coming into like he probably gonna be my top 5 players. Like not top 5 players in NBA history, but like favorite players. Like I've grown a esteem appreciation for Hakeem, because I increased my basketball knowledge over the last couple of years. Because he is one of the ones, bro. I also think Luka can be better than him either. Like that's not possible. Like player wise, he can't. But that's just me.
Hakeem was a different animal. He was backpacking teams, bro. Like he was backpacking teams, and like the first finals run he went on, people was talking that Rouse. He had Rouse and barely played games, and yeah, he lost in his first final. But it's like he was probably like 24 or like 23 or something like that. Back then, players were older. You feel me? So they came in a little bit older. Neither here nor there, but we watched him like win the finals with no other All-Star on his team. Yeah, Jokic did that too, but Hakeem was doing it on both ends. Like he was scoring and he was defending. He was playmaking. He was giving Shaq business. Like the most dominant player like ever, and he was shutting him down. Like, well, not shutting him down, but I mean, he was going toe to toe with him. I don't think there's not a center in the NBA that could do anything with Hakeem. Like if they was to see him in his prime.
Yeah. So we all chose the Celtics, a bit reluctantly, but that's probably the most objective we've been ever, to be honest. So hopefully Celtics lose. I don't really like Celtics fans or the Celtics at all. So hopefully they lose and Luka gets his first MVP. I mean, first Finals MVP, first championship. Because then in the offseason, we were pushing some ridiculous agendas, and I don't want to be I don't want nobody looking at me crazy when I do it. I got some NBA Finals trivia, sort of, kind of. I got for you guys to end episode. All right. Guess the NBA team by their points per game NBA Finals edition. So this is the starting lineup of a team that won the NBA Finals. If you're watching right now, make sure you comment your guess before we reveal the name of the team. This one should be pretty easy.
Is it an early 2000s Lakers team?
Yes, it is an early 2000s Lakers team. It's Can you guess what year this is?
I'll go with 2000.
01.
No, it's 01. It is 01. Yes.
Did you hear when I said that?
Yeah, I heard you.
Uh,
Yep. Max, can you guess the players, please?
Shaq at center, Kobe at the shooting guard, Derek Fisher was starting point. Was Rick Fox starting lineup?
He
Yeah.
was.
Power forward, not Carl. Was Carl? Carl didn't win.
Me.
Carl didn't win.
Me.
Carl didn't win. Carl didn't win. Carl and GP didn't win. Was it Horace? Didn't he stick around
Nope.
long enough? Who was power forward?
He was on the team. He was on the team, but he wasn't starting.
Who was
in the
power
finals.
forward on the team? Is it the obvious one?
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
not
obvious.
Powell. It's not Lamar.
Bro, what?
Yeah, exactly. When Lamar get drafted? Lamar's drafted in the 90s. He played for the Clippers. So.
It's super obvious.
Yeah, why am I blanking?
Q, do you know?
Yeah, you take it.
I feel like I thought it was Horace. I was pretty sure it was Horace.
It is.
Wait, let me
What you
go
said
look at this.
about-
Unless I'm looking at the wrong year, this is definitely not worse. I can look though.
If it's 01, if it's 2000, if it's the 01 team that won, Horace Grant was starting.
Let me see.
Do you have it as AC Green?
Oh yeah, it was Horace. It was Horace. I was looking at the wrong year. My bad.
Okay.
I don't
Who
think
you
he
have?
averaged. He might never.
Bro said AC Green.
Were you thinking AC Green?
No, it was-
AC Green won in 2000. AC Green won in
I was
2000.
I was thinking about Robert Ory.
Q. You were thinking of who?
Robert Ory.
Oh, yeah, Q. AC won one in 2000.
For real?
Wait, I wonder.
Yeah, he stuck around long enough. That's like one thing I always remembered. Yeah, he won one in 87, 88, and 2000. Yeah, that's like one thing I was like. Whatever. I
Wait,
remember
this
that.
might
stat.
this
Is that
might
he
not
hung
even be
around that
the
long.
this might not even be the final stats from 2001. This might be like that might have been 02. I'm looking at.
It's fine. We
Oh
still
no, it's
got
not.
it.
It's not. Wait, Robert Horry did. Wait, Robert Horry in 2001 versus the 76ers? Yeah, bro. I'm not tripping. 2001 versus the 76ers
Is it
in the
like
finals.
not
Horace Grant only played 124 minutes. Maybe he started, but he only averaged 5 points. Let me look. In the finals, it says the starting lineup against the 76ers was Horace Grant did start, but he only averaged 5 points. I gotta change that. And I just okay. All right, next team up. Same thing, y'all.
Are you guys like waiting on me or Q? You want to do this one?
No, I'm trying to think. Give me a time period.
Wait, can I give a guess first? Can I give a guess before you do a time period?
Go ahead, Max.
Would it be 80s Celtics team?
No. This is in the 2010s.
So I think it's got to be Braun then.
Braun? Like, it's a team that won the finals, right?
Correct.
Oh no,
Yeah, Braun didn't play with nobody that.
I'm thinking D Wade playing point guard. Yeah,
D Wade averaging 16 points per game in the finals.
I don't remember 2011. I don't know.
Not when they won.
You said 2010.
He averaged like 15. He averaged 15 points in the 2014 finals. They lost.
Steph averaged more.
A 2010s finals team.
Let me get a few guesses, y'all.
I mean, 2010 was the Lakers. 11 was Dallas. 12 Bron.
We gonna get it.
Is it the 2014 Spurs? No, wait, Kawhi was averaging
No, it is
28.
no.
Oh,
No.
what?
Average like 15, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Kawhi averaged 17 points. And he didn't start. I don't think he started either, to be honest.
Oh, is it the 2019 Raptors?
Yeah,
It is the 2019 Raptors, yes.
that's Pascal. It's Pascal, Kawhi,
Kyle Lowry.
Fred Van. No, Fred VanVleet started.
No.
So then it was Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol.
Correct. Yo, that's 2019 Raptors. All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. We always like to end the episode with some trivia. We may have some more content come out regarding the NBA Finals, but we're gonna do some NBA Drive content. We're gonna bring back some NFL content in the 7 days that there's no NBA games on. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we are gonna be out.